Yes, sir. The recording is started. Thank you, sir.
Still, it is not started, I think. It is showing that it is in progress only.
Okay, sir. But I am not the host now. I am co-host. Anyway, there will not be any issues.
Recording begins, sir. It is getting record now.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I think we will begin the session now. I think they will join. Very good evening, one and all, and we are happy to have you all here for this webinar session. And I can say it is a proud moment for us. We reached more than 200 webinars. Today, it is going to be 245th webinar session by Mr. Daniel Benjamin. He is a consultant psychologist from Chennai. He's going to talk about that recognition. Is one of the important topics I can say according to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and there are many more inputs we are going to get it from the resource person. On behalf of the Department of Psychology, American College Madurai, and our associated institutions like Madras School of Social Work, MHLM Institute Madurai, Psycho-Oncological Association Turkey, Red Pond Education Psychology Research Center Madurai, and International Center for Clinical Psychology and Psychotherapy, Germany. And participants over here, I'm happy to welcome today's speaker, and I also welcome the participants for today's webinar. And it is a pleasure for us. We are eagerly waiting here to listen from you. And I request core team member Veera sir to introduce the speaker over here. So over to you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. And good evening, one and all. Glad to introduce our today's speaker, Mr. Daniel Benjamin, who is actually a skilled trainer and psychologist specialist in counseling as well, and also in psychotherapy, who has actually, after completion of BSc Psychology and MSc in Counseling Psychology, where he is currently working as assistant manager with the Solara Active Pharma Sciences. Beyond that, he's actually a behavioral trainer in corporate sectors, and also consultant psychologist at Madras School of Social Work. More than that, like mentor at Banyan Academy of Leadership in Mental Health. Also a subject matter expert in psychology at Six Red Marbles. More than that, like training the new recruiters with a shipping logistic company named Sheet Team Management, and training the students of Amat University on placements, and training the research and development team of Resters on employee wellness. There are more to talk about Daniel Benjamin, sir, but I hope this is enough for the day, and I request Daniel sir to proceed further. And to have a great session, I request all the participants, please mute your audio as well video. If in case of switch on video, make sure to wear a decent outfit, and also not move here and there. And all your queries can be clarified in the QA session. Thank you, one and all. I request Daniel sir to proceed further. The floor is yours, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you. That is Suresh, correct? Yes. Thank you, Suresh. Thank you, Hariharan. Nice to be here. I'm privileged to be here to represent Madras School of Social Work also. I'm an alumni of that college as well. Okay, good. So, hi all. How will we interact? I'm usually used to interaction. There are a lot of people here. How can we interact? If mic is not the only option, can we use chat? Does that sound doable? Any responses? I'm
Yes.
already getting
Yes, sir.
responses. Yes, thank you. Great. Okay, so we can use chat for interaction. Great. Okay, before we start the session, few pointers. So we will be having this time together for an hour. I am going to share some information on recognition. Any questions, any queries, any opinions, any thoughts you want to share, you can share in between. You can put it on the chat. I kept the chat open so I can now and then keep looking at it. I can stop and address it. So feel free to ask any clarification in what I say. Although at the end we will definitely have a question and answer session like the one of the host said. That is also possible. Also, if you're going to speak, in the meeting, you can unmute your mic, mention your name, and share your comment, share your question or opinion, and then you can mute your mic. Is that fine? Does that sound good? So whenever I ask questions, you can give me responses on chat, so I know there is a group listening on the other side of the screen. Okay, does that sound fine? Can I get responses? Yes. Okay, I'm getting responses. Great. Thank you so much. So usually in my sessions, since as I was introduced, I do a lot of behavioral training. Thank you so much. Yes, since I do a lot of behavioral training, I'm used to doing sessions. Recalling is a key factor of recognition. Yes, it is. Now we are not talking about recollecting recognition. I'll get into that. Yes. Anyway, so I'm used to having a lot of interaction, like physical interaction. So this has been the sort of trainings for me through online for a while now because of the pandemic. I'm sure all of you are going, facing challenges through that, and uh, sometimes it also helps us, reach. I think not sometimes, always. It also is a big advantage for us to reach from different parts of the country, different parts of the world. At the same time, it somehow takes off certain physical factors where you feel when you are in the presence of each other. Okay. That being said, let us start this with a question that I will invite you to think of. Situations that have happened to you where you were appreciated of something. All right. So it can be anything. There can be so many instances. Have you ever gotten appreciation from? It can be anyone, from anyone, anybody about anything. We don't have to share that here. It's about what did you feel? How did you feel about that appreciation? Have you felt like you gotten appreciated for something that you expected appreciation? Has that happened to you? You felt happy? Yes, thank you. Really felt satisfied. Okay, that's what you felt when you got appreciation. Now, did have you gotten appreciations which you expected? Feel overwhelmed with happiness. Thank you for that. Happy. So this is sort of a yes or no type question. Have you gotten appreciations what you expected? No. Okay. Okay. Bhavani, Dr. Bhavani says no. Other people, yes, no, not always. Sometimes. Okay. Paul says yes. Prakash says not always. Okay. Thank you. Sometimes, Sinduja. Okay. Not always. Not always. Yes and no. Great. Okay. That is one side. We'll move to the next question. Have you experienced appreciations that were given to you which you did not expect? If so, yes, what did you feel when you got an appreciation that you did not expect? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Was it fine with you? Was it not fine? You can also use the mic. People who feel like, talking, you can unmute, say your name, mention what you want to say, and mute it back. Usually, I don't expect. Okay, Krishnan does not expect. Okay, happy, liked it, feel like cloud nine. So these are responses that I get for appreciations that you've gotten when you do not expect it. Feel like doing better, felt happy, loved, okay, surprised, felt good about manager. Okay, this is about work. It's boost up, feel happy, great, thanks. Okay, so here I want you to explore the other side of appreciation. Not always when someone appreciates us seems like appreciation. Sometimes it can not be appropriate, may not be appropriate. Sometimes it can be very personal that we may not expect a certain appreciation from another person. So, have you been in such situations where you did not want a certain appreciation from a certain person, where you got it and you do not know what to do about it, or you not feel great about it? Has that happened to anyone? Yes. Okay. No. Yes, sometimes it comes as a routine formality, not clear. Okay, yes, in a planned way. Not clear in the sense, Krishnan, is the question not clear, or you are not clear about your experience? Don't like that person. Okay, yes, when I don't like that person. Okay, that has happened too. Okay, and I'm sure we would all had experiences where we have, yes, when I don't like. Okay, question. Okay, yes, Krishnan, what did you not? What was not clear in that question? Can I repeat the question or? If you can unmute and speak, I can help you there. Or you want to put it on chat? Repeat. Okay. My question is, have you got an appreciation from someone which you did not enjoy? It is an appreciation intended to you. Maybe it was not appropriate, or maybe it was too personal for you that you did not expect an appreciation from that person who was not personal. It could be anyway some appreciation that came from another person, but was not pleasant. That was my question. Now is it clear? Never. Has never happened. That is flirting, right, Dr. Bhavan? It can be. Flirting can come under that, but there are a lot of other things also that come under that. Was not happy when it did not meet my expectation. Okay, Prakash, valuable information you're giving. So there was some expectation there. When the appreciation came, it did not meet your expectation, but the appreciation was there. Okay. Okay. When it is invading my personal space, okay, overlooked. Great, great. Thank you guys for giving me, prompt answers, prompt replies when it is fake, sometimes from colleagues, as if you have taken my chance. I think it is chance, CHANC, chance. Yes. Great. Okay. Hold that thought. We'll come back to this topic, recognition. What is recognition to you? What does it mean? Inclusion. Okay. Being valued for my work, right amount of appreciation in right time, acknowledgement, approval. Okay. Success. When felt satisfied, what I did wholeheartedly. Great, great. Thank you. I'm getting a flavor of where we are. Known for my work, ambition. Great, great. Thank you. Thank you all. So, I didn't acknowledging my worth. Okay. I'm inviting you to look the other side of recognition as well. Recognition is commonly known, well known, and is used for a very positive way of appreciating a person. But recognition, when you take it as it is, the meaning or the definition of recognition would come down to an acknowledgement. It is an acknowledgement. Okay, acknowledging my worth. One person has meant acknowledgement itself. Sarabdeep, thank you, Sarabdeep, for that. Recognition is actually an acknowledgement. An acknowledgement now can be positive, can also be negative. I can be recognized for something that I do which has come out well, or I cannot. I can be recognized for something that did not go well as well. So recognition is just an acknowledgement. When it becomes positive, we call it appreciation. Recognition, when it becomes negative, what do we call it? Any thoughts? Critical, yes, criticism, rejection. Okay, need not necessarily be rejection, but rejection can also happen. Negative recognition is not always rejection, but rejection can happen there. Great, great. Okay, envy, rejection, criticism, when it is injustice, all okay. It can be a part of recognition. Negative recognition plays a role in all of this, but it's not exact. Repeat the question, please. Okay. My question is, what do you call recognition which is negative? So criticism is one very common way of putting it. But here what we are trying to do is to understand when it becomes a negative recognition and when it is a positive recognition. So when recognition becomes positive, it becomes appreciation. So recognition is an acknowledgement of existence. That is, when you recognize someone, you are giving an acknowledgement of their existence. Remember, and this will differ if you are recognizing their existence or if they are recognizing their performance. It can be done in different ways. So, keeping that in mind, when a child is born, the first thing what will the child, a baby, when just born baby requires? What are the baby's needs? What is a newborn child's needs? Criticism gives scope for improvement. Yes, it does. Care, care to be held. Thank you. Recognition without reward may become negative. No, it need not become negative. Loving touch, care, security. Great. Okay, okay. So a child, when it's born, one of the basic need for the child is to have the acknowledgement of existence. Food, yes. So this acknowledgement of existence is gotten from how many ever times the parents hold the child, touch the child, interact with the child in any way. So recognition starts happening from there, and the need for recognition starts from birth. So reciprocate, yes. Thank you. So, and the need for recognition starts from birth and it doesn't stop there. It goes on. The way we express our need for recognition evolves as we grow up, as we are put in different scenarios, as we interact with different people. It changes and changes. And when we become adults, we give and receive recognition in a different way. We ask for it in a different way, we give it in a different way. Yes, in TA it is called strokes. Valikala, yes, you are very right. So it is from transaction analysis. In transaction analysis, recognition is measured in stroke. Stroke is the unit of recognition. I am talking about the same concept here. I am using simple terms so that it is comprehensible for everyone easily. So strokes, what Valika has mentioned here, people, it's a term used by, thank you, used by transaction analysts to measure recognition. So they refer to recognition as strokes. So we can have it as recognition now. So basically, it is acknowledgement for existence. So this need starts from being a child. There are other needs as well, but here we are talking about this need very much because it is a thing of time. Right now, it is missed in so many places. How do we get recognition? How do we get this existence? Recognition for existence is by touch the child, by interacting with the child, talking to the child, by smiling at the child. So the basic need is always there. It starts from there, and through that, you are getting more and more acknowledgements of your existence. For example, as you walk on the road, you see someone you know. What do? You smile. By smiling at that person, you are showing a gesture of recognition where you are recognizing that person's existence. So, what happens when you send a recognition to that person? What happens when you smile at a person or say hi? Thoughts? He smiles back. Yes, smiles back. Thank you, people. So what happens about recognition is one very basic law. What you send, you immediately receive. You either receive it in the same way or you receive it in a different way, but some sort of recognition might happen. Even when that person does not smile, if probably that person is a stranger and is not pleased with your smile, he might probably frown or stare at you, which is also a form of recognition. He's recognizing your existence there. Just response, yes. Thank you, Krishnan. So it can just be a stare or a frown. That can also be a form of recognition. So recognition is that of a very basic need. As we grow up, most of the time it gets diluted down. So basically, it is the acknowledgement of existence. Now, how do children get acknowledgement of existence when they grow up? When they do something, when they are appreciated, and when they are not getting enough attention, what do children do? When they need attention, when they don't get, what do? Rebel. Yes, they ask for it, they see, and if still they don't get the necessary attention they want, they rebel, tantrum, cry. All these things also invite recognition, a form of negative way, but that also expresses or makes that person feel that the acknowledgement is there for their existence. Try other ways, yes. So usually parents, we use this recognition concept in for parenting, where they parent children, or they discipline children by giving what they want, by withholding what they don't want. These things come under conditioning, for in Skinner's work. Here, recognition, how intrinsic it is everything, every human interaction has a sort of recognition. Good evening to all. Gopinath from Rajiv. Okay. Welcome, Gopinath. Yes, I'm Daniel. And yes, we are talking about recognition. So it is so intrinsic that it's exchanged everywhere, and at times or at most times, the importance of the recognition is not very much felt. How much a type of recognition can affect a person, how much it can impact a person. So any recognition, any interaction, human interaction is an exchange of recognition. Most face-to-face recognitions involve verbal messages, gestures, facial expressions, and all that. Non-verbal, also has handshakes, hugs, a pat on the back. All these things have recognitions involved in it. And any kind of recognition will sort of anchor that behavior. For example, when you smile and you get a smile back, you feel good about it. So the next time when you meet the same person, you are going to smile without show. Or if you feel very warm, you say hi to a person and you get a warm hi back. Next time when you meet that person, you are conditioned to extend that recognition. Now, why are we talking about recognition here? Why? How is this so important in this particular time? Is especially when the pandemic started. So I have chosen this topic to share some information and light on this, because from the time this pandemic started and the lockdown started, people started quarantining themselves at home. People started staying at home with minimal social interactions. What is recognition at workplace? Okay, okay. I will just finish this question and come back. So, recognition at workplace, it is defined by the work industry, the policy the workplace has. Recognition is basically existence of acknowledgement of existence. Usually, recognition at workplace means appreciation, where a person is recognized for what they have done and they'll be rewarded. So, generally, and those definitions will be followed in the policy detailing. Yes, from Krishnan, second semester question. I do not follow that. Krishnan, can you throw more light on that? Are you saying something or are you asking something? Okay. Okay. Let's continue with what we were saying. Okay. So this recognition, how in previous question. Okay. Okay. This. Okay. 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 And now I understand. Okay. So this recognition, how it was missed. We are so used to physically going, meeting people, interacting with so many people, and so interact. This we live in communities. We live as a social group. Of course, it's a very well-known and established fact. Humans are social animals. We need this recognition from each other to survive. It is a very important survival need. Those days anciently, how this was used in disciplining in community, and we still follow it, but it does not it's not followed in the same model. When people live in communities, people recognize each other when they find someone not adhering or following to the norms of the community, norms of the group. It can be any, the cities, in a particular city, or in a particular place where people live together. What they are done, they are asked to go outside the community. They are put outside the community where they are not given any stroke. They don't receive, they don't get any recognition, receive or give any recognition to anyone. They are isolated outside as a form of punishment, which helps them discipline, because when they don't want to be isolated and they miss that, so they are, once they are introduced back to the place, back to the community, it is expected that they will not repeat that behavior. So the concept of prison came from that. So what happens in a prison when someone makes something that does not go according to the law here? They are put in isolation. They are removed from the group where there are a lot of exchanges of recognition. It can be verbal. It can be any way. We talk to people. We interact with people. It feels good. It gives us more motivation, and it's very important need for survival. What happens when you exclude a person from the whole process of recognition? You put a person outside, in a prison, isolated place. What do you think will happen? What are your thoughts when you isolate a person? What does a person go through? You can use the chat or you can unmute and share your views. Dejected, loneliness, yes. Rejection, yes. Fear, yes. Thank you. Rejection, more. Okay, great. Yes. So you all agree to the previous answers. Okay. Yes, deprived of love, left out, deprived of love, affection and care, absence of interaction can put the person into sadness. Very much. So what happens when you isolate a person of the person's recognition is the survival instinct, the need to survive, need to exist goes down greatly. They get into depression usually. They may also develop some psychological problem, deprived of love, affection, and care. So that is why isolation is very, 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 very. It's a very, very sort of a cruel punishment where you put a person outside. So now in prisons also, there are social activities going on inside the prison. So it's changed. So when someone is not following the order in the prison, they are again put in a separate, isolated chamber or isolated place where they're kept for a month or something, where people just lose their minds. So recognition is so powerful, but it can do better things also. Like Krishnan, you're talking about isolation. Krishnan, can you take challenges? Can you unmute and can we have a conversation? Will that, because it'll be easier for me also to comprehend, because I'm finding it difficult to comprehend from this statement. But it can do better things also. Take challenges. I finding it hard to understand. Or if you can put it elaborately, we can discuss. Just a second. Great. Let's wait for. Meanwhile, I will go on with what I have to say. So,
See that.
yes, Krishnan.
I'm online.
Yes, I can hear you.
See, you can look at opportunities. You can look at other venues. You can look at your own growth. You will become. You can also become self-confident.
In isolation.
In isolation, I can do that.
Have you done that?
I have done that.
In isolation, how long was it?
Say about 3 or 4, not 3 months, 1.5 months.
Okay, 1.5 months. Okay.
It had given of what do you call, I become fit to survive.
Okay. So you chose to isolate yourself, and you saying that you feel better after that. Okay, there are a lot of
different. If it's isolation, post-isolation is different, and self-isolation is different.
I understand. Who's speaking? Name?
Jackie. Jacqueline.
Jacqueline, thank you, Jacqueline. Yes, I understand. Okay.
Yes,
so Krishnan,
if
here.
you isolate yourself, it will always be beneficial. But if you are forced to isolate yourself, it is going to be detrimental.
Yes, it will be. Thank you so much, Jacqueline, for that. So isolation here, Krishnan, is when I say depriving of any recognition, that is of any social interaction, where nobody you're not able to interact with anyone in any way. You don't see anyone, you don't interact, you don't say hi, you don't even say this, that. It is complete isolation. There have been a lot of researches. I'm sure you've gone through something, and you've come out of it, and you wanted to be isolated for some time. I understand. Maybe you needed that time. Generally, researchers have been done on this and proved how much ill effects it can bring to a person, health wise, physical health wise, and also psychological health wise. So it's like complete. When I say no recognition, no interaction, it's complete absence of any interaction. No phone, no laptops, no TV, no interaction or anything from the outside world, nothing to read. So isolation is just that. When you don't, okay, there are some common examples. Solitary confinement punishment, which makes people get many diseases physically. Okay, yes, thank you. Self-isolation helps to reflect or introspect one's. Okay, thank you, thank you. So, but here, when you say isolation is complete isolation, where there is no opportunity for you to say anything because there's no one around. So I'm talking about,
To that
yes,
particular community,
yes,
right?
yes. So that is generally and it's always established that it brings a lot of ill effects and it brings down the survival to live. For you, something has happened. Yes, I'm sure there are a lot of other factors that we are missing out here. But I do acknowledge your experience that you have been able to come out of it. I mean, come out of it with greater, survival instincts that you are able to do well. So there is also a difference between taking a time out for yourself, okay, taking a time out for yourself to reflect on your personal, well-being or your career growth or your development. It can be a sort of introspection that is very much needed. That is very much needed. But when it is, when you're deprived, because this need is always there. Sometimes we acknowledge this need. Sometimes we grow up not acknowledging the need, so we are able to survive without it.
Exactly.
Yes. So that can also happen. So that's why I said there are a lot of factors that involve that shape this experience as you grow up. Simple, for example, when when the child throws tantrums and still the child does not get any attention from the parents, what does the child do then? Self-isolation helps to reflect on consequence. Okay, emotionally to be low. Legally, how much ever dangerous the criminal is, he must not be kept in solitary more than 10 days. Okay, thank you all for sharing your thoughts on this. Okay, my question now is, when there is a child the child will be frustrated, it becomes intense. Yes. So the child, okay, let's give a scenario that you are, the child, you see a child. I've seen this happening a lot of times when parents, when they go shopping, when the child wants something and the parents decide not to get it because maybe it's not for that child's age, maybe it's for older children. The child cries, throws tantrum. When parents say no, this is not for you, they will try to go to the next level of tantrum. They roll on the floor, they push everything, all that happens. But after that, what happens? Sometimes self-harm develops. Yes, that can happen. Not necessarily it happens always, it can happen. But what happens after that? Much after that, whatever you do, you don't get the recognition you need. What happens after that?
Something is clear. I couldn't hear it from you.
Yes, you did not. You were not able to hear me.
No, just 2-3 minutes we are not able to hear you. Just now we can hear you.
Okay. Thank you. So I repeat my question. So what I said was, when there's a couple, when there's a family, they're doing shopping or something, and the child is crying for a particular, toy or some product, and the parents say no. The child starts throwing tantrum, crying. Still, parents, don't give attention to that. They're still saying no. Children become distant. They don't speak. Yes, distant. The child forms a belief, they become silent. Yes, cry a feeling of come. Okay. Child forms a belief. Who said that? Valikala. Thank you so much for that. There is a learning that happens for the child. So what happens after? Yes.
So sorry, Benjamin. If
No
I am
problem.
just, I think I'm over enthusiastic to prompt.
It's okay. It's good. It's not over.
Going with
Don't
the flow.
put that on
Am I?
yourself. Please go on.
Okay.
No. Please go on. I like interaction. Okay. Oh, so you were answering for that comment. Okay. So yeah, so there is a learning that happens there. There's a belief that's formed. What happens when you push that to that extent and the child does not get that, recognition the child is expecting? Oh, Valika, are you still talking? Valikala? I'm not able to hear you because if you have something you can say. I thought you went on mute.
Whether it's
Yeah.
okay for me, for you to just, I am intervening in
It's okay.
between. That's why. Okay.
It's fine. It's fine. You're welcome. So we have that contact when we started. No, it's okay. So as much as interact information you give, it will be useful to the group. So thank you for that. So
Thank you.
what happens is there is a learning that happens. The child learns that it is, no matter how much ever tantrum the child throws, the child is not going to get what the child wants in that particular situation. So next time when a similar situation happens, you will not see the child throwing tantrums. The child knows. It is a very unconscious learning. It is a sort of a conditional learning, but the child will not throw such a tantrum after that. Before that, it will escalate to the highest maximum level. But after that, there's a learning that happens where the child stops expecting that kind of recognition from the parents. So this is just a simple example to show of how, but what that happened in, but that won't happen in one time, right? Yes, Ayushi. It is very subjective. Sometimes it happens at one time. Sometimes it happens in 3-4 occasions. It is very subjective about the dynamics of that particular family, the interaction within them. It is very right. It's not always one time. But sometimes it happens in one time also. Certain behaviors happen, certain learnings from certain behaviors happen in one time also through conditioning. So that way, the need for recognition is completely changed. The understanding for the child of the need for this recognition is completely changed and does not expect at all. So will happen over a period of time. Yes. So it's completely changed. Where when the learning is changed, there is no more expectation of that. And this, yes, someone's talking. Someone said something.
Sir, please go ahead.
Okay. So this is just an example that happens that I also find often in the environment, and learnings like this happens in all of our lives in different forms and different ways, where we learn to accept recognition for something, where we don't expect recognition for something. So this goes on for a lot of times in so many places, where I'm sure some people would have experienced it, where some people, even I've experienced sometimes, where even a genuine appreciation is given, it is very difficult to take. Maybe because it is not there, the person is not used to, or is not conditioned, or how the recognition economy in the family has been when they grow up. So suddenly when this sort of a situation has come where people will have to stay indoors, the normal recognition that we exchange with people, there's a big deficit in that. There is a huge deficit through that physical interaction, where we move, we travel, we go to places, we see people. Even when we go to a store, we go see a person in the store, we see the cashier, there is a recognition happening. There are a few exchanges of recognition there. When you exchange money, when you exchange eye contact, there are so many places where we send and receive recognition we don't even keep a track on. So that deficit internalizes, and when people start staying at home most of the time, it starts messing with their normal feeling of how they are not able to feel acknowledged of their existence in an unconscious way, which manifests in different places, where they're finding it hard to stay calm, where there are a lot of anxiousness involved, where there's a lot of discomfort that has come. So where this has become, now they talk about this being the new normal, where this pandemic situation is going to be there for a while, how we'll have to adapt to this, and move on with work, with life and everything. So still now, even now there are some people, there are places where people are, trying to avoid human contact. So that's why I usually, when I, do my sessions or even with my clients, I refer to this as physical distancing than social distancing. Physical distancing is important, but we can socially interact. There are so many ways and so many, now of course, how did we meet is through a simple social network. Now the problem is, or the challenge is, to make this as a conscious effort, where this does not happen only for work purposes or learning purposes. It also happens for social interaction purposes. It can be amongst the family, it can be amongst the extended family, it can be amongst your friends. how are you having this recognition? How are you having or continuing this exchange of recognition, giving and receiving, while you are keeping yourself safe at home? So most of the clients from most of my clients and places where I did my sessions and interventions, I found this to be a major issue, especially with people who are constantly working. Especially, I've had a lot of clients where doctors continues to work, though there are a lot of they work time overtime. They do overtime shifts where they do not have time to have social interactions with anyone. So any interaction they have is between their colleagues and between patients, where the usual routine, usual recognition exchange that was there is not there anymore. And for people who work from home, you stay at home. The usual interaction, from the time just when you go to your office, when you go to a place, from the time you enter the reception area, enter the building, till you go to your place, seat or your cabin, how many recognitions exchange? How many people you say hi to, smile, or even meet, eye to eye, have eye contacts, and before you get your say. So that's become very normal and so integral. We do not we do not make an account of how many times these exchanges happen. If you actually put down how many times you made eye contact with with a lot of different people when you go out in a day, there'll be so many times where you are sending and receiving a lot of recognitions. So that is missing, and that is causing a lot of discomfort, because what's worse than recognition, what's bad than recognition is positive recognition is not negative recognition. So positive and negative recognitions are not like the opposites, where positive recognition is better than negative recognition. It both come under recognition. If positive recognition is not achieved, we will somehow find a way to get negative recognition. If I don't get appreciation from my parents, me as a child, I will throw some tantrum as a way of punishment or yelling. I will get that recognition. Indifference becomes more difficult for us to experience. That is why when people just we lose our minds, or we just get so uncomfortable when people don't talk to us. You see someone right in front of you. Has that happened for you, any of you, with friends or colleagues, where you had a misunderstanding but you have to continue to work together, or you meet in a social setting, or even with friends where someone does not talk at all or respond to anything you say? Has that happened, people? Yes, that happens. Yes, thank you. So why that is so painful? Very much, and still on. Okay. I wish it's not on anymore for you, Krishnan. So why does that happen? It's because indifference is no exchange of strokes. Thus, a negative stroke is much better than indifference, no stroke at all. A negative recognition or the criticism is much better than no recognition at all. Silent treatment, yes. So silent treatment is actually indifference. It just, blows our mind. It's very difficult and very painful to handle that. That is why even children throw some tantrum. Question 2, yes, what will the interaction during quarantine termed as positive or negative? Happens with relatives. Yes, thank you, Jayanti. Okay, Deepthi, your question of what will the interaction during quarantine termed as positive or negative? Okay, this an interaction being positive or negative, we cannot universalize it or generalize it. It is very subjective. It depends on what exchange of recognition or what exchange of message happens in that place. You cannot put a general blanket over that being positive or negative during the quarantine term. It can be positive or it can be negative based on what kind of interaction you have with the person. Okay, fine. One-sided strokes, one-sided recognition. Yes, if there's indifference from that person, it will be painful. Yes, Krishnan. Okay, so that is why this is very important. Recognition and keeping a check on how much are we interacting. How, so that we feel that, that survival is acknowledged now and then through interacting with family. How do we interact outside the family? There are Zooms, there are so many online platforms where now you can even see each other. So the first thing where we have to start here is to make time. First to know how important it is. Next to make time for this kind of interaction. Of course, for work, you call people, you talk to them, you make video calls now and then, yes. But how are your interactions? How are your recognition exchange from person to person? Self-interacting, Krishnan, yes, recognizing self is also a term. We do that when we do something nice for ourselves. For example, when we go buy something, when I go buy something for myself, it is me recognizing myself there. So it is also very much important and it can also be done. Thank you for that, Krishnan. So how do we make time? So first thing is to make time in a daily routine for some time in a day to have this kind of interaction with my family. Am I able to have this interaction with my family face to face? Am I doing some activity with my family? Am I doing some activity with my friends? If I have a set of friends, how am I including them inside my interaction system where I'm able to exchange recognition, receive, and give? So with that, I would probably be open for questions. So interact, recognition. It's positive recognition, negative recognition. We saw indifference where there is no recognition at all. Negative recognition is better than positive recognition, and how recognition is an acknowledgement for existence. With that, I would close for what I had to say for today. I will leave it to the host if you want to moderate the question answer session. If you have any questions, you can ask. If you have any thoughts, you can share. Is that fine, Harihan?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yes, please.
Daniel, sir, for an amazing session.
You can call me my name. Please don't address me as sir. Thank you.
You are open to questions.
Yes, yes, yes.
Unmute yourself to ask any questions to our speaker today. You can also mention questions in the chat box so we can ask the speaker questions and be addressing it.
Okay. Who's speaking now? I am not able to hear you. I am not sure if others are able to hear you.
Amazing. Audible now?
No.
Check the, I guess we're not able to hear you, dear.
Now it's better. Now I can hear. Yes.
Okay, am I,
So Krishnan is not able to hear, I think. I think, yeah, just check if something can be done about that.
yes, okay, sir. Probably
Or you
I
can put it
will.
on. You can put it on the chat. You can voice is breaking out. You can put on the chat what you want to say. Tell the group or to me.
Hello, can you hear me, sir? Hello.
Yes, I can hear you. Yes. Who's speaking?
Sir, I'm Satyabama.
Yes, Satyabama, please.
I'm working as a school counselor. How to improve the recognition, sir? Because some students come to me and ask me that nobody is seeing me, nobody is appreciating me, whether I'm feeling lonely. So for that type of students, what are the strategies we can tell them to improve their recognition, sir?
Great, great, great. Thank you, Satyabama, for that question. That's actually a very important question. I'm doing this in a lot of places. So, first thing, what has to happen is learning has to change. In our place, in our country, in our culture, there is a learning that I see everywhere that asking for recognition is not right, or asking for appreciation is not right. It is seen as a very negative thing. So that has to be unlearned, and the learning has to come that it is okay to ask for appreciation or ask for recognition. So here, what happens with children and even with adults? This happens in corporate level, college, and even child level, because it's a learning where sometimes in their family, parents do not appreciate them asking for appreciation. They are not given permission to ask for appreciation. So that stops them from asking what they expect, but the expectation is still there with them. So since the expectation is there and it is not expressed, they get disappointed because it is not manifested. The other person does not even know. Sometimes, for example, let's take a simple example as when you are a guest, when you host someone at home, for a meal, they have your meal. If you want to know how the food is, from them, You ask them, they'll tell you. Sometimes they'll tell you without you asking. Sometimes some people they don't, and that does not mean the food is not good. Maybe they just don't. So if you want feedback, it's okay to ask for it. If you want appreciation, it's okay to ask for it. So that has to be taught to children, especially where it is okay to ask for something. At the same time, it is okay, and it is okay to accept a no from the other person when it is not given. So this learning has to happen with children, even with adults, where acknowledging their own expectation, putting it out, being expressive, expressing it in words, verbally, very important. And at the same time, acknowledging that when there is a no from the other side, where they are able to respect the other person's choice. Satyabham, am I clear? Was that answer?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Great. So, dear all, here is the feedback and e-certificate link for today's session. Okay.
Hello, Benjamin. I am Prakash here.
Yes.
Can I ask
Yes,
a question?
Prakash. Yes, please. Yes.
See, as we discussed, generally, we all feel good when we are being appreciated or recognized, right?
Yes.
And it also means that, when we don't get appreciation, we feel bad.
Yes.
Right? In general. So does it mean that, most of us will do any particular task expecting it to be appreciated?
Expecting it to be appreciated. It's not, again, it is not, we cannot generalize saying we always do it for appreciation. It is very subjective.
But generally, why I'm asking is generally we feel bad when it is not being appreciated. That's the reason why I'm asking.
Then that means there is a general expectation of being appreciated there.
Yeah.
So without the expectation, that disappointment will not be there. So when there is an expectation, has it been expressed in all those places? Then there can be that something, there's room for something to happen there, some exchange of recognition.
Okay. And I just want to, correct. I got your point. And I just want to share one more point here. When we're talking about recognition or appreciation, one more point I would like to bring upon is that timely appreciation is very important. See, for example, when a particular task is being done, and if you're not appreciated at the very moment or within a short period, and if you do it after 6 months, it loses the very essence or the very purpose of the appreciation. So it doesn't serve any purpose.
Yes, it depends on what is being appreciated here. For example, your name again?
Prakash.
Prakash, yes. So if I say, if I appreciate something about you, in terms of my expression, saying, "Oh, Prakash, you are such a warm person." This stands always. So I'm not appreciating your performance. I'm appreciating you as a person. So this is not conditional. This is unconditional.
Correct.
So no matter what you do, you are a warm person. So this will work at any time. So when there is some performance thing that happens, and when I'm appreciating you much later, you may feel good about it if you did not expect from me from that, at that time.
Yeah.
For example,
it comes down to expectation.
So it comes down to expressing expectation. Always remember, expectation is not wrong. Not expressing the expectation it will not help you. Again, it is not about right or wrong. What is useful and what is not useful. So if I want to be appreciated when I do something, I can ask for it immediately, or I can even put across to that person that I like it this way. When you have can you give me a feedback immediately after I do? Sometimes when I go for supervision. So since I'm a psychotherapist, I go for supervision regularly. So we always encourage supervision when it's psychotherapy, so that we are all, we know what we are doing is good. We are doing good work and we are giving quality work for our clients. So in supervision, I ask my supervisor, what I want before I start. I tell my supervisor, so if tell me what I did well as soon as it's done, and after that you tell me where I can improve. So that's where it worked well for me, and I've encouraged this way with a lot of people, where it's easy, it's easy for another person to understand what is expected of them at that point of time.
Correct.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Okay,
this is Paul John.
Yes, Paul.
Hello.
Yes. Tell me.
See, actually, recognition is important, and non-recognition is also a very good point that we should learn something. But indifference is, as you said, it's very difficult to. But there are occasions, a group totally coming on an individual, not even able to do anything at all, without doing. How do you think that it can? But the person is able to face it. But how do you think that that kind of a situation that should be, handled balanced?
Paul, I need little more information on this. This might have a lot of factors involved. Can you elaborate a little? I mean, if it's fine with the group.
So take any environment, both in corporate as well as in college, as well as in any other service organizations. A person is so talented. Yes, a person is so talented. And a group of people don't want to come a person up at all. And there is no recognition, there is no indifference, but there is always constructive plotting to put a person down. How do you think that a person should handle it? How do you think a person should handle it?
Okay. I understood your question. So here, Paul, this is a simple term of having exchange of recognition. What's happening there? I would, in psychotherapy, I would call it as a game. There is a game happening between the group and the person, which will have a lot of other factors about the predisposition of both the groups, both the parties. So it will need more to be looked at in those aspects. This place will not be suitable for that.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Okay.
Thank you. You can always anytime get in touch with me if you have more questions, need more elaborate solutions or answers. You can always connect with me.
My question is not that to handle understanding a person is still ready to fight it out. But how do you just suggest a person to give us?
Again, here there is no one answer to that. There are a lot of factors involved. We have to first identify what game is happening there, what kind of recognition. So I just touched the tip of the iceberg of this concept of recognition. There are a lot of games around it. So we like to get certain recognition. Even sometimes some people invite a certain negative recognition without their conscious mind. So a lot of things that has to be looked at individually.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you for your question. Yes, just few chats have come. Thank you. When this is not placed, what are the suggestions? Okay, this is okay. Your practice recognition. Okay. When recognition is not there in the workplace, what are your suggestions for the individual employee? Start recognizing other people. That would be my suggestion. How do you teach someone to smile? You smile at them. How do you teach someone to hug? You hug them. Of course, you see to that they are fine with it. But demonstrating a behavior is teaching that behavior to people. This is the best way, simplest way. Skinner did it that way. Still works. You practice recognition very well. Good session. Thank you. It is need for honor. Having a good name is a kind of need for recognition. Extensively, yes. Having a good name about myself, wanting to have a good reputation is a form of recognition that I'm expecting from my environment. One of the beautiful sessions, Annie. Thank you, Krishnan. Is it fine if someone do not care for recognition? It is okay. Not every time that you want recognition from people. Sometimes you just self-recognize. You do something for yourself, like hobbies. When you do something for yourself, if you're just appreciating yourself for what you do. It is like that. It is okay. Contact number, Danny. Yes, we will get to that. Okay, interesting. Kindly share your contact number. Yes, I will at the end. Okay. Yes, Subhashri, ma'am. Yes, please. You have done. I think you have something to say. Do you have any more questions? Anyone through chat or?
I think now the entire session went very well with a lot of interaction. Daniel, I know how you conduct the session. Thank you so much for a wonderful session, very interactive, and as well as you have really did the justice for the entire session, and you made them also feel that what is recognition is all about. And I thank from my bottom of my heart from Department of Psychology as well as for alumni of MSSW as well as and Madras and Madurai American College and as well as the other associates. Thank you so much for a wonderful session you have rendered, and thanks for the participants also for facilitating the entire with a lot of questions and also being responsive, also very very interacting also. Thank you so much for the participants also. I sincerely place a record of gratitude for you, Daniel, for such a wonderful session today.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Anytime, anytime. Thank you. Thank
And
you all.
I know that you are my, of course, I have not taught you many years, and just you are my student. I'm really proud of you. You have done such a wonderful session, and people have really benefited out of it. Keep doing such a kind of an, sessions for people to enlighten and as well as create an awareness about how these all small things which is very important for all of us to create a wonderful family relationship and also maintain good well-being. Thank you so much, Daniel.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you all. Thank you.
Sir Benjamin, I just last one point.
Yes, Prakash.
Just since this is about appreciation or recognition, I just made an observation that during the entire session, I never noticed any of our comment not being read by you. So everywhere you went through the comment and you named the persons. That itself is a recognition. We all felt that and we were recognized.
Thank you, Prakash. I also feel recognized. So that's how I also get my recognition. You see that?
Yeah.
I give and take it. Take it from you.
Exchanges.
Thank you, the hosts, that the people, gentlemen who introduced me to the group and had me here from the college, American College. And thank you, Madras School of Social Work, always willing to share information. Thank you so much. And my number, ma'am, can I give my number here? Is that fine?
Yeah, please,
Okay,
give it in the chat. People may contact you.
Yes, my contact number is.
Our entire core team is working right from the April 14th, Daniel. That we have been doing continuously these sessions.
Okay, nice.
And Dr. Suresh Kumar is the team lead for their, the brainchild behind this webinar, and we all are teaming up.
Very good reach. Okay, this is my number. I dropped my contact number here. You can always use it when required.
Thank you, Daniel.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.